Hello and welcome to another episode of the In Between Podcast. Let's go ahead and get it started. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of the In Between Podcast with your host, as always, Kyle McLemore. And thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a favor before we get started here, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Definitely helps the podcast stay alive, and it helps our show keep growing and bringing that sweet, sweet content straight to you. So go ahead and tell a friend to subscribe as well, because you know I will hella appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to talk about, have you guys seen that new, I was getting close to the end of August, so very close, and I want to say that new Lord of the Rings series starts right at the beginning of September, so that's coming out super soon, and I cannot wait. It's actually, I don't even know what, I know nothing about it. I've seen every single trailer, I've seen every single preview, and I know nothing about that show, because every time I watch like a preview or a trailer, all I see is just money, 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 money. Like, the amount of money that Amazon is just dumping on that show is insane. Like, I'm pretty sure they shattered, like, maybe they're paying homage to the original trilogy, like, because I think when the films first came out, they like shattered records for like biggest budget like on a feature film like ever. But I'm sure that something's got to have beaten it by now, maybe like Avatar or something. But yeah, I remember just like that was like a huge thing with those movies, is them having like a insane budget, because they would fucking like literally like hand make every single piece of like chainmail. Like every little individual ring was like handcrafted, like every helmet and fucking feather and like everything in those movies was like painstakingly handcrafted. In like the olden times, they had like an actual blacksmith fucking chaplain. Like, no, I don't think so, but it was like a huge budget. And so now Amazon's like, oh, okay, well, if you need a lot of money to make Lord of the Rings, we got a lot of money. So they're just fucking chain making it rain over there in Middle Earth. Yeah, every time I see those previews, it's just like, Jesus, every single person in this like show looks unbelievably, amazingly like they look so good that they almost look CGI. Like everybody's like airbrushed, like, or something, to where they just look amazing, and everybody's like, all their wardrobes, and like every time someone's like, look at this jewel, it's like, oh god damn, that looks good. So I'm definitely gonna watch it. They've already got my, like, I'm in the future already watching it, so they've already got me. I'm just really hoping that it's gonna be good. Yeah, fingers crossed on Lord of the Rings. Tough to top the OG. I mean, like, I've talked to people who really, really like The Hobbit, which is interesting because, man, I used to love The Hobbit, the book. Nerd alert. Yeah, the book used to always be my favorite. The Hobbit was like the greatest adventure book ever. The movie, not so much. They went fucking ape shit with the CGI and like have all these dwarves fucking running around in CGI the entire movie, and it's just like, ugh. Even though like orcs and everything were all CGI, and it's just like, ugh. This is almost like an abomination to the original, like. Because, man, those originals, and I could totally be 100% biased, because it came out in, like, 2001 is when the first came out? So, like, I was, like, 11 or 12, which is, like, could you be at a more prime age to watch Lord of the Rings than, like, 10, 11, 12? Like, dude, I was so balls deep into Lord of the Rings. And then, not only did I have the unbelievable timing of like watching those movies right when I'm like a little kid who can still run outside and go play, but also they just happened to be like, I was living up in the high desert back when it was literally just desert and like 3 houses, and one of those 3 was mine. And so it was like me and my friends would just sprint out into this endless desert where they were like preparing to build homes. So there would just be miles of just trenches, miles upon miles of all these intricate trails and trenches, and then they'd have all these wooden stakes, thousands and thousands of these wooden stakes to mark like where to dig and like where this should go, and like map it all out. And we would just fucking fly through those fucking desert, just whack, blasting through all these carefully measured states that these construction dudes had set up like over days. Like I'm telling you, like just like thousands of these states, and they would all have like ribbons on them, and like I'm pretty sure they were all important and like mapping out their own way, and we're just out there and just fucking hacking and slashing and just like, man, yeah, talk about a great time to be introduced to Lord of the Rings. Is like, man, yeah, 11, 12. Holy shit, did that occupy the hell out of like my couple of summers. Also, my first experience and like really holding it for like 3+ hours. Oh my god, do you guys remember watching Return of the King for like the first time? I remember it vividly in theaters because I'm pretty sure I nearly crapped my pants. I remember sitting through that whole movie, which is like 3+ hours, and it's also got like 17 different endings. Like it'll just like fade to black, and then it comes back and you're like, oh shit, there's more, and then like fade to black, and everyone's like getting up, and it's like, oh, but what about Sam when he went back to the Shire? And it's like, oh fuck, we gotta sit through this another 15 minutes of this. But man, yeah, I remember being in that theater and like eating like a movie theater hot dog, and I remember specifically because it had to be the hot dog that set off the whole bomb. So yeah, I eat the hot dog, and like halfway through that movie, it's just like, and I'm just like, well, I'm not leaving fucking Return of the King, like no matter what. So, and also, I'm like the worst person at like dropping a deuce out in public. So I'm already like, nah, not happening until we're getting home. Sit through that whole entire movie, like up until the very end, when it's like, I think I got most of it. Like, yeah, they destroyed the ring or whatever, and it's like, okay. At a certain point, it's like, I gotta go, or I'm gonna destroy this like movie theater seat right now. So, get up. That was like the first and last time in my life where I ran into that bathroom like so about to like crap my pants that like I literally just like kicked the fucking stall open and just like slammed it shut. Didn't care about like, usually, you know, you try to be like subtle and like try to like, squeeze it out like, you know, try not to make any crazy noise. But I just fucking boom, kicked it open. And it was just fucking yeah, just and then fucking sprinted back to the theater where it was still like I remember like I walked in and I was like, all right, well, it's gonna end like in a second. I'm not gonna walk all the way down there and like, oh, excuse me, and then like as soon as I sit down, like, dude, roll credits, okay. So I was like, oh, I'll just stand here like for a second. It's gonna end. They'll walk this way and then we can leave. So I'm watching it and it's like, and it's still going. Fade to black and come back, fade to black and come back. And it's just like, Jesus, I end up standing here like an extra like 20 minutes, like expecting it to end like any second now. But yeah, that new one looks promising. Yeah, looks good. Hopefully it's good. I mean, definitely spent a lot of money on it. Gonna have to figure out a way to download it and binge it all. But yeah, man, yeah, good times out in the desert, just wrecking people's like carefully measured states and construction zones. But yeah, definitely good times. Oh yeah, that was a pretty easy breezy cover girl. Go ahead and call right there. Hope you enjoyed that Lord of the Rings pod. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely helps the show stay alive, and we appreciate you guys stopping by. So thank you so much. I am your host, as always, Kyle McLemore, and we'll see you next time